again on this platform. This is our first programming for 2021. I am glad to be here. My name is Abby, and the founder and president of Afri-Canada Hub. I have my t-shirt on today. I have with me Melania. And Melania, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Melania Chikobo. I am the vice president of the Afri-Canada Hub.
Thank you so much, Melania.
And I'm glad to be here, talking about mental health, a very crucial topic in our lives.
You have mentioned the topic already. So the topic for today is about mental health. January 28th is Bell Let's Talk Day. Once again, we those in Canada understand what that means. Bell Canada is the phone company that has made mental health and the topic of it very easy to talk about. Before, mentioning mental health was like a taboo, especially when widows from Africa. But now the topic of mental health is slowly expanding and crossing boundaries where we can easily come and say, oh, okay, so I know someone who is going through this and that. Mental health and the topic of it need to be taken seriously. So today we will just be discussing a few things, going back and forth on the topic of mental health or the lack of mental health. 2020 was a very serious year of a pandemic, and it continued on somehow. People are affected by it differently. But let's talk about mental health, Melania. If we want to define mental health or a lack of mental health or mental health conditions, how would you define it?
Okay, I would like to start by saying thank you to Let's Talk Bell for having this platform. I remember when I was young, we were so much, I was afraid of people who had mental problems. I was afraid. And at the same time, we used to laugh at people who had mental problems because we didn't understand. And we grew up knowing, oh, that family, they have a problem. That family, they have a problem. It's all because we didn't know, what it was like, what it was, what was going on. And people used to laugh. Again, even the adults, they didn't know. They didn't talk about it. There was that stigma that they are, there are problems with that family. There are problems with that family. Not knowing that, every one of us is affected somehow by, mental problems. It's good that now we can talk about it, and we should be helping people with mental problems. So mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. And it affects our thinking, our feeling, and how we act. Sometimes it affects us in such a way that how we handle stress, how we relate to others, and the choices we make. The problems, they manifest in different forms. The factors may be biological, the genes, or the brain chemistry. Sometimes it's the life experiences. Some people are subjected to trauma and abuse, and other people is the family history. So one way or the other, we can be affected by, lack of mental health or mental health problems.
I was reading something the other day. I think it was on Facebook, and I found this person wrote that it's better to help your boys now before they become full-grown men with mental health issues. When a person is younger, it's better to talk now, find ways to deal with it, than to wait until it becomes a problem. then we start stigmatizing it. Like you were saying, that back home, people point fingers at families and say, this family has an issue, that family has an issue or mental health problems. And then they become isolated and nobody get closer. The theme this year actually for Bell Let's Talk is any action counts. Any action counts. So any action at all counts. And I'm glad you mentioned the definitions of mental health, things that we can watch out for. I was going to show a quick clip of Bell Let's Talk. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Whether you take a few minutes to help a friend breathe during a panic attack, or you take a few minutes between meetings to enjoy a mindful breath of fresh air. When it comes to mental health, now more than ever, every action counts.
Okay. So that Bell Let's Talk, one of the ads.
Okay.
What do you think about it, Paulinia?
It's a good one, and it actually takes us to like warning signs.
The warning
If
signs.
we have to help, we have to be able to identify, people who have, who need help. So we should be aware of the signs. Some of the signs are, they are small, but others, they manifest like their behavior. But we need to be able to identify these. And I will say out some of the early signs or warning signs. Eating and sleeping too much or too little can be a sign.
Yes.
Pulling away from people and usual activities. People just not wanting to do anything or not wanting to associate or talk or sit with others. That can be a sign that something is going on with someone. Feeling numb and or like nothing matters. You're given this task, you just don't do it. You just don't feel like, no.
Don't feel like doing anything.
Yes, not doing anything and not taking, like prioritizing, seeing that this is important. Oh, let me do something. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Brushing aside everything. Yeah. And having unexplained aches and pains can also be a sign that something is going on mentally. And then feeling helpless and hopeless. Also, smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, even the prescription drugs, that could be a sign when you see someone doing that, especially when that person hasn't been doing that, and then what is really going on? Yeah. Then sometimes you're feeling unusually confused, forgetful, on edge, angry, upset, worried, or scared. Those are all signs of, warning signs.
Warning signs,
of
yeah.
mental health problems. And there is also the severe mood swings. This moment you are this, next moment you are way different. And, usually it comes with confusion when someone is, this, the mood swings. And that can cause problems with relationships and friendships. And then we also have persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your mind. That could be an issue. Then hearing voices or believing things that are not there. An inability to perform daily tasks, like just taking care of your kids or taking care of yourself. So those are some of the warning signs that we should be aware of in case our relations, our friends are affected, or even the students we teach.
Mhm.
Sometimes you find this happy child all of a sudden is withdrawn, doesn't want to do work, or doesn't come to school more often, and then you have to find out what is going on. Maybe something is going on at home. Maybe there is abuse.
Mhm.
Yeah. So all those things do matter. So we have to be aware and also find ways of helping.
I know. That was as you were talking about things or signs to watch out for. And then I'm thinking about the pandemic because now hearing about the pandemic, I was reading from Bell Let's Talk, the site. There's a website for Bell Let's Talk. I hope people will be able to find it if you need support or need to read more. It's letstalk.bell.ca, and reading some of the simple ways really that we can take action. They said that hearing about the pandemic repeatedly. So if you are watching the news all the time, sit down by the TV and keep repeatedly listening to the same news over and over. It can be very stressful. We need to walk away from the news sometimes. We need to take care of our bodies, as you have said. Before we took for granted even a simple thing as taking a shower or breathing in air. I've been practicing that lately a lot. I find that is very helpful. Simple exercising, just walking outside. It's so helpful. Connecting with people, talking to people. So that statistics is saying 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, some people recover. Some people recover from it. And by doing talk therapy, talking about it. So some of the ways that we can simply help ourselves is not just sit down and listen and taking all manner of news without talking out. Maintaining a routine where we can check on each other can also help. Simple things that we can do, such as finding out how somebody is doing, or even sharing food. Now, it's a lot of people have lost their jobs. Some people still have some income going on, but if you're in a country where government support is not there, then we need to share what we have. We need to share our resources, help each other to stay positive during this pandemic.